you think it could be a piece of something that you could utilize in these final three?
Yeah, I think for basically 18 minutes, we fought hard. I think we were tied 42-42. We really tried to protect the paint tonight and put an emphasis on that with our shifts and our low man, and they hit 21 threes. Obviously, we don't want to give up 6 to Joe and 3 to McCain as lasers. Did do a good job there, and some of that was just poor closeouts. But yeah, I think the guys they for the most part fought hard and put a lot into it. We're undermanned right now, and it's important that everybody is trying to play the right way and play for the team. And I think certainly there was a number of guys that did some good things tonight. I thought Adu right at his minute restriction, he made some mistakes, but he played hard. He had a lot of effort. And Jake was great defensively in his minutes. Luke again, with on ball with 9 assists. So Rui, making shots. Drew to start the game was great. So a lot of good things.
Just with Kennard, the on-ball stuff and just getting guys into good positions, getting the ball, that level of playmaking is. Assuming, or at some point, if Austin and Luka remain out, even with Marcus Smart back, is there an additional way you can use Luke just based on what he's shown these last two?
Yeah, we try to get him, off ball to on ball more tonight. Just because I think the toll the other night, having to bring it up, and obviously with OKC, it's a different pressure system with Caruso and Wallace and Dort. So try to get him off ball. We used Drew early. They made the adjustment. We tried to get other guys to bring the ball up in the second half with, frankly, limited success in terms of getting us organized. But I thought Drew did a good job for what we gave him prior to the game in our walkthrough of how we wanted to initiate offense with him bringing the ball up. He did a good job.
What led to the exchange between you and Jared Vanderbilt early on in the second quarter?
Just a confluence of things. Again, it's nothing personal with him. Normal stuff from my end. I think for all of us, being undermanned and we've got to scrap and claw. We've got to all be on the same page. We got to be great teammates. We got to all play hard. Called a timeout to get him out of the game, and he reacted. But again, normal interaction for me.
What was he not doing in his shift then?
What was he not doing?
Yeah, to take him out. Like what?
Again, it was a confluence of things, Dan.
You guys were 14 to 31, I think, from the free throw line.
Yeah.
Tonight.
And they were 21 to 41 from 3.
There are controllables, there are uncontrollables.
Yeah.
Does that point to a mindset? Does that point to anything just kind of about where your team's head's at right now, kind of after the week it had?
Yeah, I don't know where that sort of comes from. Some guys missed a few, some guys missed one. It was just an accumulation of things. We've been a solid free throw shooting team all season.
To follow one of that, I guess just what has been sort of like the emotional whiplash of like the guys that are on the court tonight, the Ruiz, the DeAndre Aytons, guys that a week ago were focusing for a push for really deeper in the playoffs to now kind of just sort of like treading water, I guess.
Well, that's one way to look at it. That's not how I look at it. And it's my job to make sure, and again, this is the way things started tonight. And, I just called the early timeout because Rui didn't do his job. And so took him out of the game. We've got to find 9 guys that are like all in on us fighting and willing to go out on the, whatever metaphor you want to use. I don't want to use a war metaphor in this time, but whatever you got to do to go out and fight and be all in on the team. We'll find the 9 guys. It's a great opportunity for us over the next 3 games to find those guys.
JJ. Still habits to be built.